good football match for the spectator, but um, yeah, missed a few chances in the beginning, created, gave them some unnecessary chances that we need to be better with in possession and eliminate some of the turnovers. But yeah, I think overall, we'll take the point to hostile environment to come into. It's a great environment, and for a young group to come in and battle and compete and find a way, I think there's a lot of positives we can take from the week or weekend.
Hey, Coach Jake here. Just real quick, we've seen a lot of from Hannah and from Shinomi off the bench throughout the year. They got a chance to get a bit more of an increased role today. What did you see from them in their first start, and kind of how did that change the dynamic for that first 60 minutes there?
Um, yeah, I think, we're asking Hannah to play a different role in terms of the nine. So with her pinning players back, the problem becomes is that if we're not filling in the pockets properly underneath her, then it's sort of a waste and it takes away from our attacking structure. So that's one thing. She definitely provides a different type of presence, a different way. I would have liked for her to be a little bit more dynamic and getting behind rather than receiving and holding it up and coming negative again. Um, but that's normal. I mean, that happens sometimes, and we weren't really playing off of her as much as I would have liked. Shinomi, I thought was good. It's tough because you have her and Tal on the same side, and they haven't played together before, and obviously Feely's still dealing with some illness. We just felt that, for her to, she hasn't trained, so it would have been a rough spell to put her in. We have a couple of weeks to sort of get her right and go from there. But like I said, it's good to get these players minutes and opportunity, but at some point we have to start playing a little bit better football in terms of in possession, so that we don't have to put ourselves under pressure when we don't need to.
Rowie, if you've got questions, I'll turn them over to you.
Sure. Thank you guys, and thank you, Sean, for your time. Just wanted to start off, you were talking about Hannah and playing behind her, just what you saw out of Jaden in that 10 slot and things that she did particularly well, opportunities for her to grow. Like what did you see from her out there?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about our the way we play is that we want to have as minimal running as possible. And when we start running a lot side to side, what happens is we lose the spaces that we need to occupy. And then when balls are played into certain areas, those spaces are empty, and then that hurts us. So, her first time playing in the 10 for us, I felt that she got into a rhythm in the second half because we talked to her about just positioning a little bit more and not being so um, mobile in those areas, and she was able to get in better spaces, have a little bit more impact, work with Ash a little bit more. The problem was on the opposite side, the pocket wasn't filled because we weren't rotating properly. So again, it's not, it's just lacks fluidity because of how many. I mean, we started four new players today, right? So when I say new, meaning players who haven't started and played together in a real game. We're just trying to figure out this early in the season what works best. But I thought Jay got into a better groove. Unfortunate to, for the PK to be saved, but we move on and it's just part of it. At least she stepped up to take it, and next one she'll bury. So that's the least of my worries.
And then the flip side, I know Nick had some stats pointing out just how much Denise was doing out there. Denise and Ryan in particular seemed like they've been like anchors for you guys in terms of preventing some of those opportunities. You know, when you were watching the game and watching how the game plan was translating, like how did you see them step up and you know, keep things from or like keep the those unnecessary chances from happening again.
Who are you talking about? Ryan and
Oh,
Sophie?
Denise and Ryan.
Okay. Yeah, I look at it in twofold, right? I mean, the normal play, like the KKs, the Ryans, the Sullys, the ones that have the 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 foundation of what we're made of and the rocks in terms of stepping up when we need players to step up. I thought that KK and Ryan and the group defended the box really well late in the game. But if you go back and look at the moments, I felt like the work that we had to do defensively was a lot because of the turnovers that we were having so simply in the middle and wide areas. And when I say in the middle, I mean middle third, not necessarily the middle of the field, like in the central area. But a lot of the turnovers were just unnecessary. They shouldn't have happened. They were simple passes that we should be connecting and the way we play. And I think that it's going to take a while to get into a rhythm with that. That the way we play, it takes time. There's going to be spurts. It won't be as consistent. But there's no doubt that the desire that Ryan and Sully show every single day is going to help us no matter what. They give us the energy. But I would like us to, as a group, as a collective, not individually, but as a collective, be better in possession. I haven't seen the stats, and maybe I don't want to, but yeah, I just felt like a lot of those moments that we asked them to defend was because we didn't take care of the ball well enough to allow us to get our shape, to allow us to establish our possession, to allow us to play forward. And as a result, we were in transition quite often. And yeah, those are areas we have to be better at.
And last one from me, just the international break coming up. I can't remember off the top of my head the exact like who's going, who's staying, but how do you see that giving you an opportunity to refine some of these weak points that you're pointing out?
Well, it's tough when you're missing the players that are in those spots. Um, but we have to everyone, we train everyone the same way. So it'll be a good opportunity to work with the players and maybe work on some individual stuff as well over the course of the next week or two. And, hopefully everyone stays healthy. But, right now it's a tired group. We've dealt with a lot over the last couple of weeks with illnesses. We've missed a lot of players because of illnesses. Obviously, we're missing players this weekend because of illnesses. So, you just get back to work. If we're like I said, we're young, and that's not an excuse, but we have to mature real quick. And in order for us to do that, we have to continue to grind and push and be coachable, and we have to continue to look at how we're going to improve. But all you do is you just get back to the grind, and that's what it's all about for us.
Interested to see where it goes. Thank you, Sean, for your
Uh,
time.
Thank you.
Sean, thanks. Rowie, thanks.